Hey everyone, I thought I'd share some Canva tips and tricks for creating immersive worlds and VR and so forth. So, one of the things I like to do is use the images in Canva. In this case, it's a living room, and you can definitely add kind of multiple images. But if you just have a look at this one, it's basically one that I found from Canva. It's got a sofa, it's got a rug or a kind of throw rug. But what I'm going to do is match the design and match the style. And then I'm going to go a little bit further and actually describe through my prompt the changes to the structure of that room. So in this case, what I actually want to do is I want to create like a botanical Australian kind of native wallpaper on the top. So what I want to do is take that structure of that image, make sure it matches the design, make sure that it's a strong image reference, and then I'm going to see what it basically churns out. And I'll give you a few examples in this walkthrough today. But as it's kind of opening that up, I do like to add the images that I've created. Now, while that's opening, I'll show you a couple of those references that have come through. You can see I'm also playing with 3D individual objects that I'm going to create. But I've got some botanical images that I'm going to create. So here's a couple of examples that have come up. This one with a bit of an orange, beautiful natural colors, a little bit of a kind of watercolor feel about it. And what we can do in Canva is when you AI generate those images, don't forget you can go down the bottom of that AI image generated image and you can make subtle changes. So in this case, I might say, hey, I want a greater emphasis on red and gray hues, and that will produce those different things. So you can see there the types of images that are creating. But what I love about this is we're going to make this into a Gaussian splat. We're going to take this a little bit further and make a VR room out of it. So you can see here that's got a lot more red, it's got a lot more gray hues in it, but it's kept the structure of the room itself. Now what we can do with that is because it's a great image and has some 3D elements in it, we can turn it into these sort of places, these rooms. And what I'm using is World Labs. I've got beta access at the moment, and it's doing a really good job of that couch and the throw rug, or the throw blanket over the top. It's done a great job of wallpaper. And what this is doing, it's allowing me to create a 3D immersive space. I've put this into Spline, but I'll show you the marble. Why don't we have a look at marble and have a look at World Labs now and some of the things that we can do with it. And why don't we take it a little bit further? So you can see here, I've got a create tab, and what I can do is upload my images. And these are some of the images that I'm kind of playing around with and seeing what kind of job it does converting pictures. Now, this is a really interesting one. This was also made in Canva, and it's basically, instead of a smart style, it was a 2D charcoal sketch or a sketch style. And it's done a really good job of creating that kind of 3D world that I can move through. It's only limited, obviously, to what it can see, but you can see it. It's done a fairly good job of it. But what I want to do is take this a little bit further. So if we actually use some of those references in Canva, we can also take this a little bit further. So don't forget, what we're doing today is we're adding a structured image from Canva that has some 3D elements in it. You can see I've got the wall at the back and the sofa at the front and so forth. And we can start to match the design with that. So in our next little look here, as we go forward, we're going to take this a little bit further and see how we can actually add to it. But you can see there, that's come into Spline really well. It's a 3D image. It's got that beautiful backdrop, and it allows me to move through the 3D world itself. So why don't we go a little bit further and have a look at a different interior design that we can start to play with. So once again, we're going to match the design, which is the structures in the image. And this time we might look at something that's a little bit more contemporary. So we're going to create a wall inspired by, let's say that it's kind of a misty backdrop, like a mountain scene. Maybe it has a kind of a rocky landscape. And what we're going to do is try and create a really engaging kind of wallpaper that we can base some 3D models off and actually create some more 3D elements in our world. So we'll make sure that we don't forget to match the design. We'll make sure it's a strong reference, and we'll just see what comes up. Let's see what kind of aspect we've got as it comes up here. You can see here I've started playing around with that concept already. And so as that comes up, oh, this is looking really great. I've kind of got my burnt orange hues and my grays. It's exactly what I want. I kind of like this rock element here. This is looking really, really cool. Great mural. It's kind of got a 3D effect. I think I can create an amazing world out of that. So what we can do then is plug that image into our world labs, and it's going to create a whole room that is created in that. So if I go to my world labs, I know you don't have access to this yet, but you will if I go to create. If I upload the image, there it is there, and I generate, it's going to give me a fantastic virtual. Now, here's the bit of an issue. When it's generated it, we can reuse the prompt if we don't like what we see. I kind of don't like the yellow. And what we can actually do is go down and edit the prompt. So if things have come up in my AI 3D world that it's created, what I can actually do is get rid of the elements. So I might get rid of the artwork, for example. I might go down the bottom and add a coffee table that's inspired by that rock landscape. Let's say in the middle of the room, let's place a kind of a rock coffee table to really match the decor in that room. We can go a step further. We can start maybe adding some prompts about lighting in the room. We could add a window that has a backdrop of the landscape that's actually in the room itself. So we can start to play around with the prompt, still have that strong reference image there as well. And we can make sure that I didn't like the amber light. So I'm going to change the amber light to a dark misty sky because I didn't like the way the yellow was coming through on the mural. So we'll get rid of the amber light. And we might just add that, that window concept of that looking out the window and we're kind of in the Rocky Mountains, or we're in a stormy kind of atmosphere in a physical setting. So I've done that before. So if I actually go into that world, which I think is my top one here, have a look at this. If I view my world now, I've got a 3D world that I can move through, and it's got that amazing coffee table. Look at that kind of rock inspired coffee table. Now this would look great in a Vision Pro. It would look great in VR as well. But have a look at how that's tidied up. It's taken my Canva rock wall, which is 360 degrees. I've got a nice concrete floor. I've got that throw rug. I've got that beautiful coffee table, all from a little bit of inspiration from Canva and AI image generation going forward. I hope you like this tutorial. We're working with a lot of schools at the moment, working through how to create 3D out of 2D. And you can see that was the original with the amber lighting. So I got rid of that in the prompt, and all of a sudden I elongated the room. I made that a lot more kind of visually spectacular in regard to the room, and it's made a big difference just by iterating on the text prompt with that beautiful, strong image reference. Hope you found that useful. These are some of the things that we're doing in schools and businesses at the moment, looking at how we can create 3D out of 2D. Paul Hamilton here from Using Technology Better.